Hey you guys, it's Ashna Patel, the Texas Oklahoma District Governor.
Hi guys, my name is Myngoc Nguyen. I am the Lieutenant Governor of Division 3S. We are here with the Presidents and Vice Presidents Forum that we would be presenting at the Leadership and Education District Conference of the 2019 and 2020 year. However, we are unable to do so in person as the conference is canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We hope you guys are staying safe, and here is our presentation.
So a few things that we wanted to start off with is you are the leader. So make sure that you're leading, and here's something that Myngoc has for y'all.
Yes, so as club presidents and club vice presidents, you guys are the leader of the club. What this means is you guys are basically the role models of the club. Your actions and your leadership will affect your clubs. So just make sure that you be aware of everything that you guys are doing. It will be affecting your club. Your members look up to you guys as you guys are the club president and vice presidents. You guys are basically the face of your key club in your school. So whenever someone mentions key club, they will think about your faces and your actions. Also, what you put in is what comes out. The amount of effort that you put into your actions and projects, it will show. So make sure you know that. Be professional. This is really big as you are the role models and the face of your club. It is best that you are acting professional, whether it is in person or on social media. And as you guys are the leaders, you should be introducing yourselves to your faculty members in your school. And yeah. The next slide is inspire. As you have so many eyes on you and your club will be looking at you, use your platform to inspire others to continue their service. Behind every inspired volunteer, there is an amazing leader. So be the motivator and someone who inspires others. Work with every member. As with Key Club, there is a lot of people that you are interacting with, not only club members, but your board, your faculty advisors, your school advisors. You will be interacting with them, and every interaction that you have, there is a chance to inspire others. Get personal and connect with Key Club. Get personal and connect. Key Club is a family. So what this means is we hope that you guys are able to talk with Key Club members and your board. It shouldn't be all strict and too professional. You should be communicating and conversating with others, and as Key Club president and vice president, you should be very friendly, kind, and open to talking with anyone in your club or outside of your club. The next is speak with confidence. Show your passion. As Key Club president and vice president, you guys are filled with passion, and when you speak, it should show. So the next thing we will be talking about is the weekly duties. So every week, there are some duties that you guys should be making sure get accomplished for that week. The first thing is planning your meetings. You should be able to set your location and time of every general or staff meeting or board meeting. What we mean by this is making sure that the location and time for your planned meeting is available. There are instances where a club will reserve or plan to be in a certain room. So making sure that your location and time is cleared for the weekly meetings is essential. Also planning out what you guys will be talking about, the agenda. Board meetings and general meetings, as we talked about, I highly recommend having as this ensures that what you guys will be talking about is efficiently talked about, and time is very precious. So making sure that your meetings are planned successfully will be very helpful. So the next thing is delegate. As presidents and vice presidents, you should be checking up on your other board members and that they are doing their job. For secretaries, Make sure that your secretaries are submitting their monthly reports and task of the month. For your treasurers, make sure that they are promoting club growth and membership growth, as well as working on any fundraising projects or managing the money and financial aspects of your club. For club editors, make sure that they are submitting their newsletters, as well as reading the district editors' newsletters, reading the Texo Key, Humans of Texas, Texas and Oklahoma, and doing the article of the month. Communicate. Make sure that you are communicating with your faculty advisors, that your faculty advisors know what's going on in every meeting and what you guys are talking about. Make sure that they are aware of current club issues and service projects, as well as financially what's happening. Ensure committee activities and responsibilities. As you have a club board, if there are committees as, oh, this group needs to find service projects or this group needs to work on membership growth, make sure you check up on those committees and how they're doing, their progress, give an update on that every week. Keep a file of all correspondence. Just make sure that you are recording every interaction that you have with other groups, other schools, or any conversations that you've had with service project contact information people. Just make sure you're recording all of that, have emails, have numbers written down. Next is email your lieutenant governor about club activities. It is very important that you make sure your lieutenant governor knows what you are doing. They will be reporting to the district, and it is very important information that we need. The next thing is attending Kiwanis meetings. So it is very important that you are updated or in contact with your Kiwanis club. There is no Key Club without a Kiwanis sponsor or Kiwanis club, and they are so helpful. And just attending Kiwanis meetings when you can is nice to update them on what your club is doing, and you are also being updated on what they are doing. So try to attend as many Kiwanis meetings as possible. Service. So every week, as we are Key Club International, we should be providing service to volunteering events and our service projects. So every week there should be service done for your community, your home school or community. And it is always good to plan the next service project. So research service projects for members to attend, lead the entire membership in a well-rounded program of activities and projects. And just making sure that there are service projects to attend to. Make sure that someone in your board is constantly looking for new events. And for every week, you should be ensuring that delinquent members are handled properly. If there are any problems with members for that week, make sure that that problem is handled and brought to light. And yeah, those are your weekly duties.
So next comes your monthly duties. So every month we ask you that you have events, you still continue to delegate, and you set goals so that every month you can achieve more things. So every month try to have a social. Key Club is all about service, and we want to ensure that members are in our club so that they can have service and they can grow their passion for service. But that's not all we do. We can have socials and we can have events that can recruit members. Here's one picture that we have from our lieutenant governor, and they're just kind of having a social at a boba shop, and that's a way for them to recruit new members and talk to the people that show up to the boba shop and explain to them what Key Club is, what our Kiwanis family is, and get more members in the Kiwanis family. The next thing you want to do is continue to delegate. So every month, secretary and editors are supposed to be sending in monthly reports, newsletters, and articles, just like Myngoc just said. So make sure that they're still sending those in. It is your and your vice president's duty to make sure that you remind them, ask them if they need any resources. Do they need you to write something down for them? The newsletters usually have like a message from the president or message from the vice president. So ask them, be supportive of their role, because it's hard to write everything in your newsletter like the day before. So ask them questions like prior to that, so you can send in all the letters that they want from you. And have at least one social service project and meeting per month. That way they can report all this stuff. They can have pictures so that they can include it in the newsletter, and they can have sign-in sheets and attendance sheets, and that can all be included in the monthly reports. The last thing you want to do every month is set goals. So if you had, let's say you had a service project and a lot of people kind of backed out at the last minute. So you had 15 people earlier and now you only have 10. So something that you might want to set your goal for this month is have all 15 people show up. Setting monthly goals will be a good way for you to see your whole term and see how much you achieved throughout the term, and they will help your long-term goals, like your year-long goals. So have a place where you have all your goals, share these with your other officers, your vice president, secretary, and all of them, and make sure that you're getting input from them. So if your secretary's goal is to have one more meeting so they can report it, talk to them, get that report from them so that you can include that in your goals, and maybe you can have that extra meeting so they can report that in them. Organize and participate interclub events. So when you participate with clubs in your area and they have a key club, that can give y'all extra points on your monthly report. So participate with other presidents, go to DCMs, which are meetings that are held by your lieutenant governors, attend those meetings and find new presidents that you can talk to and have events with them. This will help both your boards and your members to see that Key Club is just bigger than what it is at your own school. So have interclub events and set goals so that you can achieve more things and you can see the broader spectrum of your achievements. The last thing we have, or not the last thing, but the yearly duties that you want to do every month is attend LEDCon. So unfortunately, we were not able to have one this year, and we usually have one every year. So you'll be able to attend it at the end of your term. So something that we do at LEDCon is kind of just celebrate and recognize all the clubs that have gone above and beyond their normal duties. There's a lot of contests and awards that you can participate in, and you can find out more information in the contest and awards code that can be found on our website at tokeyclub.com. We also elect the district staff. So district staff positions, which is the governor, secretary, treasurer, editor, they're all included, and they're all installed and elected at LEDCon. We also have fun stuff, which is not like formal, but a talent show and video games. And so there's a lot of stuff you can do, and you can find key clubbers that have the same passion and service throughout Texas and Oklahoma. So you can find people.
Make friends.
Yeah, you can literally make friends from like across the states. But anyway, so have attend LEDCon, and you might want to like continue find like fundraising stuff at the beginning of your term, and so that you can continue to do that and find money so you can go to LEDCon. You can fill out the annual achievement report. This is something that's asked from the district level and the international level, and it's just a way for us to see what did your club do, how many meetings did y'all have, how many socials did y'all have, service projects, how did your membership increase or decrease? Like, was there a certain point in the term where the membership decreased? It's just a way for us to kind of see the growth of our division or our clubs and stuff like that. Make sure you fill that out, because you can actually achieve awards from that, and you can find out more information in the contest and awards code. You can attend divisional council meetings and divisional events, and also the regional training conference. So all the duties that we're going through right now should be trained to you again at the regional training conference, and that's a place where it's kind of like a mini decon for every region. So try to find out, does your region still have one? Can you attend it? The divisional council meetings, also known as DCMs, are supposed to be held by every single lieutenant governor, and every single month. So you can
happening every single month, yes.
So find a way, can you attend it? sometimes they're online, so just put in that Zoom code and go in. And sometimes they're not. So find out what you can do, and all that information can come from your lieutenant governor. Everything about divisional council meetings, divisional events, and regional training conference. Divisional events include stuff like service projects with other clubs that the lieutenant governor holds themselves. So communicate with the lieutenant governor, because all these three things, attending these three things, can give you more points in your monthly reports. Meet with your Kiwanis clubs at least 2 times. A lot of the time, Kiwanis Club wants you to like go out to them and reach out to them so they can come to your club, they can come to your meetings, and they can talk about what Kiwanis is. Reaching out to them, they can also help you on the financial aspect, such as helping you with your transportation for LEDCon. A lot of the clubs also use Kiwanis clubs and have them come over to service projects and use that resource as a, can we get more people to join in our events and come to our events. Kiwanis club members can also be guest speakers, and they can come and talk in about what Kiwanis is, how can key clubbers continue their key club journey in Kiwanis. So find a way that you can join, like you can invite Kiwanis clubs, because they do want to come. They are just looking for some leader to tell them to come.
All right, the next point is to draft a budget for your club with your club treasurer. This is very important, as for the beginning of the year, if you're starting out as club president and vice president, it's good to be aware of what the financial situation is with your club. Was there any money left over from last year? Are you guys starting at 0? Or is there anything that you guys can work with for that year? Especially if you're planning on attending LEDCon, it is good to be aware of how much money you have so you can plan accordingly and see how many members you can bring with you for that year. It's always good to set aside a certain amount of money for any projects that your club may want to do for that year, or any ceremonies, you know, buying food or buying things needed for those events. Just drafting out a budget will be very helpful. The next is paying dues. Every year, to be considered a club in good standing, your club must pay membership dues, and every member must pay $13, which goes towards international and your district dues. Make sure your club is paying them. The next thing is updating your COCI, which is your club officer contact information, with your lieutenant governor. At the beginning of the year, you will have a new board or new members, or a new board. So just get their emails, their phone numbers, and share that with your lieutenant governor. They will use that information to stay in contact with your club, as well as if the district ever needs to contact your club for anything, we will have that information. So update that every year and at the end of the year. The next is have a officer installation / retirement ceremony. Whenever you start the year off, it's good to plan who is going to be what position on your board, and to plan for the next school year, whenever your school year ends, who will be the next board for the next key club. This will ensure a easier transition to the next year. Yes. So do that for the year.
So lastly, we have some tips and advice for you. Both me and Myngoc used to be club president, so we kind of have some idea of things that we want y'all to take out of your successful term and things to make your term successful. So throughout the term, make sure that you're inclusive. One of our pillars for Key Club International is inclusiveness. So avoid making small groups. Like, don't be that club that has like all the officers are like in one corner and all the members are like over here together. Y'all are all together. Y'all are all members of Key Club International. Yes, y'all are presidents and y'all are vice presidents, but at the end of the day, you are Key Club members. So just take everything into like as a family. Make sure everybody's included. Go talk to that first person that you see. This is also like freshmen join our club because they want to like feel in a place where they're not like scared. So make sure that you are like talking to freshmen, maybe having like a social for them so that you can just tell them that, hey, you're there for them and they're not like alone and stuff like that. So don't make small groups. be together, talk to everybody that you go, walk in the meeting and talk to everybody that you can possibly talk to.
And make them really feel that they are a part of Key Club.
So confidence. So speak confidently. If you're going to a general meeting, just just prepare ahead of time. If you're giving a speech for like your Kiwanis Club, prepare your speech. If there's some words that you possibly cannot say, don't say them. Just say stuff that like defines you. And if it's like a small word that may sound dumb, it's okay, because at least you can say that confidently. So speak confidently, don't overshadow others, and don't choose your favorite in certain opinions. So if you're asking your members like about, do they want to have a Key Club social tomorrow, make sure that you're taking everybody's opinion into consideration. A good way to do that is not just ask them straight up, because you're going to have to come up with a decision right on the spot. So make a Google form at the end of the meeting and tell them to fill it out. And it can just be like, do you want to have a meeting tomorrow? Do you want to have a social tomorrow? What themes do you want? Do you want us to bring the food? Will y'all bring the food? Stuff like that. So you're making sure that it's an opinion of the members that is being counted, and not just what you want and what your officer or team wants. So make sure everybody's opinions is being accounted for. Communication. So talk to your members. Like I said earlier, don't make small groups, because after all, they're in the club so that they can feel a sense of family and a sense of like, oh, they're in a club and they can have someone to reach out to. So don't make sure they're comfortable and they're not having any issues, and just talk to them. Like Myngoc said, you want to be professional in some aspects, and you also want to be friendly in some aspects, and you want them, you just want to be an open-minded and open person so that they can reach out to you. They're great to talk to, and they are there for you. Members are basically how much our club is made of. So talk to them. They will be leading the club eventually. Once we're done, they're going to be the leaders. So kind of look throughout your term, make sure that you're talking to everybody, and there's not one member that you're talking to more than the others, because you are the face of the club. So I know it's stressful, but it's going to be fine as long as you're fair to everybody. And then K family, interact with Kiwanis, builder clubs, and CKI in your area, because at the end of the day, you want to have every single member grow their passion and continue their passion for service in one of the branches of K family. And if you bring Kiwanis in for one of your meetings, they can just talk about what Kiwanis is. Builders clubs are clubs that there's just like Key Club, but they're for students around 6th through 8th grade, so middle school area. So find clubs that are going to want to send more people to Key Club, and that will give y'all more members eventually too. And CKI is a college-based circle.
It's the collegiate version, basically, of Key Club.
So you also want to make sure that Key Clubbers know what they can do as they go into college, because just like freshmen going into high school, it's kind of stressful going into college. So this can be something that they join, and it's kind of like their family.
All right. So along with our tips and advice, we have some do's and some don'ts. Starting off with do's, we do recommend you guys to be confident in what you're saying. If you are talking about Key Club related subjects, you should know what you're saying, and so you should be very confident in your words. A tip that I have for you guys is to maintain good eye contact. Whenever you're talking with someone, it's best to be looking at them and making sure that you guys are maintaining a good eye contact. The next thing is just glance at your notes. Whenever you're presenting or in a meeting, it is good to have to jot down some notes of what you want to say, but don't solely rely on your notes. Whenever you're talking and speaking, truly speak, and then occasionally look down to see if you forgot anything. The next is have appropriate gestures. You can use your hands to speak, and I have a tip for you guys when you're speaking, to have your shoulders back and to stand with your chest a little out, and it'll help with your confidence. Another tip is even striking a power pose. If your legs are a little bit apart, it'll help with your confidence and help with public speaking. And also making sure that you're breathing enough to speak loudly. Provide rhetorical questions to involve your audience. Whenever you're presenting something, it's good to make sure that your audience is engaged. So if there's something in the presentation that you need to ask your key club members, you can ask questions or ask, is there any questions, either throughout the presentation or at the end. Just make sure that your audience is engaged. Tailor the way you speak to your audience. So if you are speaking at a general meeting with key clubbers, they are high schoolers, so kind of talk to your audience the way you would want someone to be speaking to you. Also, if there are any guests in the audience, like any teachers, faculty, if your school principal is there, or even if there's a Kiwanian in the audience, make sure that you are speaking the way you want to speak to an adult. Also acknowledge that they are there. Just present and be aware of who is in your audience. Okay, so some don'ts that we have for you guys is try not to read directly off the screen. If you do have a presentation, presentation on the projector, it's best not to read off of it. The information that is on that screen is something that you should know already. So you can glance at it just like your notes. You can glance at it, but make sure that you're mostly talking to your audience and facing them. The next don't is try not to turn your back to your audience. Like in Hollywood, try not to turn your back to the camera or your audience. So don't turn your back to your audience, as whenever you're talking, they will listen to you better and feel that you are more engaged if you are facing them instead of having your back to your audience. The next is do not slouch or have your hands in your pocket. It will make you look a bit tired, lazy, and not engaged with your audience when you are, when your body language doesn't show that you want to be there. So try not to make yourself smaller. As club president and vice president, try to really show that you are there. So make yourself big and show that you are confidently there. The next is try not to make nervous gestures. Public speaking is so hard and it is nerve-wracking, so it is only natural for us to make nervous gestures, but with practice and experience, you can learn more about your nervous gestures, and you're able to catch them and stop them when you are more aware of your nervous gestures. So a don't is try not to. The next point is don't talk too fast or too quietly. Someone said, if you think you're speaking slowly, speak even slower. And that is a tip that I have for you guys, as when you're nervous, your throat gets dry and you speak really, really fast. Don't do that. Your audience will not clearly hear your points. So try to tell yourself to slow down. And with your volume, make sure that if you have a large audience, or even just whenever you are presenting, make sure that you are speaking loudly and clearly for your audience. And yeah, those are our do's and don'ts. All right, so with meetings are so important. They are so important as they help members stay updated. Planning and having them is so essential to Key Club. And when you have your meetings, make sure that your board members are there and it's kind of clear who your board members are. Have them stand in the front, have them present with you, stand next to you in the front. Whenever you do have meetings, I strongly recommend having an organized agenda. Just knowing what you will talk about in your general meetings and board meetings will be so helpful. Your agenda can be in the form of a presentation, like a slide show or any PowerPoints. That can be your agenda and help you guide your meeting and make your meetings be more efficient. Speak loud and clearly, as I stated in my do's and don'ts list. Speak clearly. Make sure your audience is truly listening to you, and make sure that they are really hearing you. The next is each member can talk about at least one event on your agenda, take turns. So having your members either take a slide or, assigning them to talk about a certain subject for that meeting, it will include all of your members and show that your board members do know what's going on in your club and show that they are engaged. So really have your board members be involved in these meetings. The next is make sure meetings are announced beforehand. So as we said in our weekly, monthly, and yearly points, just make sure that you're communicating with your clubs efficiently. It is best to make sure that you have announced a club meeting a week or two ahead of that meeting. Also, if you're able to make a calendar for that month and assign when you're having meetings and at what time and at what location, and giving it to your members the month before or at the beginning of the month, it will be good to schedule and have your members kind of be aware of when meetings are. The next point is go over general announcements and you're good to go. So whatever vital information of, when the next meeting will be, what service projects your club will take on, or anything happening in your club, make sure that you announce that and include, of course, for that meeting, whenever we do have meetings, the point is to inform our members. So make sure that you are informing your club members about important information and events. And the last thing is make sure to recognize any special guests, such as Kiwanis. Whenever you have your meetings and there is a special guest, please acknowledge them, as they did take their time to come to your meetings. And if there's anyone else, like any school faculty advisors, acknowledge them, thank them for being there. And yes, that is our tips for our meetings.
So that kind of wraps up all that we have for you. We have some contact information for you. We have our phone numbers and we have our emails, and we're glad to answer any questions. We really hope that y'all have a successful term going into your presidency and your vice president term. And we're here for you, and we're ready to answer any questions that y'all may have for us. Do you have anything else to add, Myngoc?
Yes, I would just like to say I hope this presentation was informative and that you were able to learn something out of this. And thank you so much for watching.
Bye, guys.
Bye.